you see Elon Musk talk about why we probably live in a simulation? Whew.
There's
This is pretty spooky. I don't know what they're going to talk about specifically. Should we play the video for? There's a thought that if our computational power increases to such a point ever to where we ever have the capability of accurately simulating the universe, that would mean that there is a very, very high degree that we already live in said simulation. Because if we were to simulate a universe that is similar to our universe, and assuming deterministically everything turns out the same, then those people will eventually create a simulation to simulate the universe. So what are the chances that we were the first ones to create said simulation, and we're not a simulation that's already been created? It's like an interesting meme to think about, but
there's a.
But I don't know if computationally, if we're ever able, even remotely capable of reaching that level of computational ability. It seems impossible, but
there's a sort of a philosophic concept that a sufficiently advanced civilization will be able to create.
There's nothing to do with philosophy.
So
a simulation, yeah. Maybe you've answered this before? A simulation.
I've had so many simulation discussions, it's crazy.
Okay. So, because
in fact, it got to the point where basically every conversation was the AI/simulation conversation. And my brother and I finally agreed that we would ban such conversations if we were ever in a hot tub. Okay. That was like, because that really kills the magic.
Hot tub, so the idea is, right, any sufficiently advanced civilization could create a simulation.
How do you calculate that chance? It just seems like something that might be unable to know how likely. Okay, let me put it this way, okay? This is how the thought experiment goes. Let's say that your civilization becomes sufficiently advanced that it can create a simulation of civilization, right? Well, in that created simulation of a civilization, if the universe behaves somewhat deterministically, the same humans evolve, and the same humans create the ability to simulate a universe, then they develop the ability to simulate a universe, right? And in the simulation of the simulation, these guys would develop a new universe, right? And in the simulation of the simulation of the simulation, these guys would simulate a universe, right? So that's what would happen theoretically infinitely going down through the simulations. However, if this were to happen, then you would have to wonder, well, us here, we created the ability to simulate a universe that will simulate theoretically infinite universes. What are the chances that we aren't just part of this, right? And then these people are just part of this, right? This is the problem, or it's like how the thought problem would go.
Like our existence, and so the theory follows that maybe we're in the simulation. Have you thought about this? And
a lot.
Are we? Are we?
Even in hot tubs.
No.
So much so it had to be banned from a hot tub.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not the sexiest conversation.
Are we in? Are we in?
I mean,
wouldn't the initial simulation have to account for infinite simulations, which sounds impossible? No. Oh, fuck. I'm talking outside of what I'm comfortable with. So somebody majoring in physics, if you were capable of accounting for every variable in the universe, then you have already accounted for infinite possibilities because of the way that entropy works, right? If you have your initial conditions all measured, then that universe can do anything because everything will be the result of everything slowly breaking down, including the creation of future civilizations, or simulating civilizations that simulate civilizations that simulate civilizations, right? I think, if that makes sense.
I think here's, in my mind, like the strongest argument for us being in a simulation, probably being in a simulation, I think is the following.
The biggest problem here is that we need finite energy to simulate infinite energy. Maybe, unless you talk about some form of compression, some form of algorithm that would compress like dark matter or empty space. Well, not empty space, I guess, because that wouldn't need anything. Or like a star. Maybe you create an algorithm in a simulation that accurately simulates a star, so you don't have to account for every individual piece of data. But maybe I don't know if it's possible. Like I said, this sounds like something that would be impossibly computationally massive. We can't even accurately simulate what goes on inside a human mind, let alone the entire universe. Although in some, I guess, depending on how you look at it, biology could be more complicated. But
called 40 years ago, we had Pong, like 2 rectangles and a dot. That was what games were. Now, 40 years later.
Don't you need an exponential amount of computing power if you get an infinite amount of simulations? Well, but like nothing in the universe is infinite. Like the universe is very, very, very finite. There's only a finite amount of decay that can occur in the universe before everything runs out, right? The universe doesn't go on forever. The universe will end at some point in time when entropy has reached its maximum memes or whatever, right? Because you can only, energy can never be created. It can only be, right, transferred around and meme about.
Later, we have photorealistic 3D simulations with millions of people playing simultaneously, and it's getting better every year. And soon we'll have virtual reality, we'll have augmented reality. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, then the games will become indistinguishable from reality, just indistinguishable. Even if that rate of advancement drops by 1,000 from what it is right now. Then you just say, okay, well, let's imagine it's 10,000 years in the future, which is nothing in the evolutionary scale. So given that we're clearly on a trajectory to have games that are indistinguishable from reality, and those games could be played on any set-top box or on a PC or whatever, and there would probably be, billions of such, computers or set-top boxes, it would seem to follow that the odds that we're in base...
Sorry, hold on, fuck, one more thing. The amount of energy that it takes to run nested simulations is necessarily lower than the energy that the simulation consumes. Exactly, Sugalis. That's exactly correct.
Reality is 1 in billions.
What Elon said here is not correct. That's kind of strange, but I don't know what his background is in computational shit. I would instantly assume that this guy is way, 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 way smarter about anything having to do with technology than me, but that statement was very odd.
So
tell me what's wrong with that argument.
Is the answer yes?
The argument is probably. I mean, but I just like, is there a flaw in that argument?
I mean, someone.
I'm not sure what the error.
No. The argument makes sense. So the assumption then is that somebody beat us to it, and this is a game.
No. There's a 1 in billions chance that this is base reality.
Oh, okay. What do you think?
Well, I think it's 1 in billions.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean, that seems to be like clearly what it suggests.
Right.
And actually, I mean, arguably, we should hope that that's true, because otherwise, if civilization stops advancing, then that may be due to some calamitous event that erases civilization. So maybe we should be hopeful that this is a simulation, because otherwise...
Because they could reboot it.
Well, otherwise, either we're going to create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality, or civilization will cease to exist. Those are the 2 options.
I don't understand why he would say that it's fair to assume that eventually we will see 3D simulations that accurately depict the real world when we're starting to come up on some very, very, very real computational hard walls that, like, our current understanding of physics won't let us past, right? Transistors are reaching, we're down to 14 nanometer architecture now. Isn't it 14? I don't know how much lower we can go. Like we're hitting like the hard wall of what is actually physically possible to create in terms of computer architecture goes. So the idea that they're going to continue to improve at the rate that they have is, I think, completely misfounded. He is claiming that within 10,000 years. Well, I mean, if our understanding exactly... Please don't talk about our understanding of physics if you just think that we randomly uncover new fucking information all the fucking time. Our base understanding of physics hasn't really changed much in like the past 70 years. Please don't think that like we just randomly discover unless you're talking about QM. Fuck, never mind. Oh, shit, I'm gonna get triggered. Let's play League. Nope, we're playing League. 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 Quantum computing will pick up the torch 50 years from now? Maybe. If the quantum computer of all that qubit shit ends up working out, maybe. But even at that, I'm not sure if those are the kinds of computers that will replace our home computers. What are the Large Hadron Collider and all of that shit? Yeah, but all the physics experiments we've done so far is just confirming what we know to be true. You have a gross misunderstanding of modern physics. Okay, Omar S. Can you name me some massive things that we've completely revamped our understanding of physics on over the past 5 decades? Omar S. in Twitch chat. What are some massive revamps in the understanding that we have of physics that have happened over the past 5 decades? We have a kind of good enough understanding of physics to improve. We just don't have a physical way to do it. No, transistors can't become much smaller than they are now because you wind up with really weird shit happening that makes them unfeasible to work with, right? Like you can't reduce the size of what is the theoretical limit? Is it like 7 nanometers or something? We're at 14 now. There comes a point where you just can't make it any smaller. It's not physically possible. Is it 7? 10? I don't know what it is. It's somewhere down there. String theory? Okay, so you have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, fuck! Okay, can we just play games? Okay, never mind. All right, we're playing video games. I just want to play video games. This is all I want to do. Why does a nested simulation take less energy to create? Because because all of the energy that existed at the very start of the universe is all the energy that will ever exist, and things will only become more simple as time goes on. If you can simulate the beginning of a universe, you can simulate every single possibility that could ever occur from every possible thing that could ever happen in that universe. Because all of the energy of the universe is contained in the Big Bang, and the only thing that happens at that point is everything breaking down, right? That's the entire universe. You can't go from complex to less complex back to more complex. You can't. Everything that we have right now is just a result of every other thing breaking down in the universe. So if you can simulate the very, very, very beginning of the universe in a perfect state, then that's the maximum amount of power that you would need to simulate an entire universe. Simple to complex back to simple? No, you can't do it. It only goes from bigger to smaller. Like, things only break down as the universe goes on. That's it. George Ellis has published a book in which he argues that we can go from less complex to more complex. Did this book completely and totally shift the most basic fundamental assumptions that we have in science? How can you go from less complex to more complex in the macro system of the universe? Modern physics is based on classical mechanics and QM, but that doesn't mean there aren't major advancements. We have major technological advancements, but we haven't had major revampings of our understandings of physics. That's the assumption that I live under, and it's everything that I've read seems to agree with that. So I'm inviting you, if there has been some idea or some massical revamping of our understanding of physics in the past 5 decades, go ahead and tell me. If it's happened, I could be wrong, all right? I'm only telling you from my little fucking shitty-ass basic understanding of what I've read so far. It maybe something has changed dramatically. Go ahead and tell me if it has, but I haven't heard of anything that has. Every experiment that we've ran, everything we've done with the LHC, everything has only confirmed things that we've thought to be true and have confirmed them as being true. We haven't been like, oh fuck, we were completely fucking wrong about, oh my god, like gravity is like, I don't even... Destiny. While the overall complexity of the universe is getting less, there are localized areas where things are getting more complex. But localized doesn't matter. That's not a closed system. The universe as a whole is a closed system. If you have a system like what exists on Earth, where infinite energy is being poured in from an outside source, then of course, then the Earth as a system can become more complex. But once the sun disappears and energy starts to leave, right, and everything tends towards maximum fucking entropy or whatever, then things will eventually break down. Obviously, you can have an open system that becomes more complex if it's being fed infinite energy from an outside source. Like, yeah, sure, of course. Has Destiny not read the Bible? I don't know, homie. Newton's laws are still going strong. No, potion seller, that's not true. No! Newtonian gravity isn't technically correct, right? I don't think Newtonian gravity is technically correct, but it's close enough for like 99% of scenarios. Oh shit. Let's just play League, alright? Let's just play League of Legends. Hey guys, if you're driving in a car going 100 miles an hour and you shine a flashlight off the front of the car, how fast is the light traveling in front of you? Do you know the answer? I don't know much about dark matter, but theoretically, doesn't creating dark matter also create energy? I don't think we've ever talked about creating dark matter. There's no model of physics that allows for the creation of energy from nothing. There's no model of understanding of anything has never been seen experimentally or theoretically ever. Wait, okay, so for everybody saying the speed of light plus 100, can you add these people to a list? Fuck. The speed of light, no matter your frame of reference, the speed of light always moves. There's your fun fact for the day. The speed of light will always move at the speed of light, no matter what your frame of reference is, always, okay? I'm sorry, the speed of light in a vacuum. My bad. Boom, 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 boom. Destiny, please, what is this 10 nanometer business? What happens when we reach 1 nanometer? So the problem is that when transistors become too small, electrons behave in unpredictable ways where they just... I don't know how to explain it. It's beyond my understanding. They like phase in and out of existence or teleport to places, and so it fucks everything up. And we're starting to reach that barrier. At least in some people are saying that with different materials, like graphene, maybe you don't have these same problems. That might be true. I'm unaware of that. I don't know. Is it called quantum tunneling, I think? Oh, yeah. Someone in chat said it. But I don't understand the mechanics of quantum tunneling or how that works. But as transistors become smaller and smaller, we're very close right now to a theoretical maximum where we absolutely cannot make transistors any smaller, which is where a lot of our architectural accomplishments have been. Necessarily. I think necessarily. Like all of the, like from one generation to the next, you're pretty much always on a smaller architecture. You can't fight me here. These are my creeps. The creeps fight for me! They fight for me!
This is a legit question because I'm uneducated as fuck, but if two particles traveling 99% speed of light and they collide, where does the energy go? Because they should collide at 198%.
Ah, I got him! I don't even know what the fuck you just said, dog. I'm sorry. Can somebody repeat his question? What happens if two balls collide at 0.99 C? I have no idea. I don't know. To even accelerate something to that speed requires an almost infinite amount of energy. I'm not sure if it's possible to do that. I don't know. That's exactly what they do with the LHC. Oh yeah, but those are like two like really small particles for like an entire ball or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it is possible. I don't know what would happen. What are you asking? They would just collide, right? What's the question? The laws of classical physics don't apply when things get sufficiently small / sufficiently fast. Yeah, pretty much.
Getting back to the 10 nanometers thing, if graphene allows even smaller transistors, will we finally be able to have manufacturing processes that can create transistors smaller than Bump Jin's dick?
The exact donation question was, if two particles traveling 99% speed of light and they collide, where does the energy go? Because they should collide at 198% of the speed of light. Well, it's a general relativity question. This is very complicated. I don't have a good enough understanding to explain it. You go take a fucking physics class in college. I couldn't do it. It's very strange because when you consider frames of reference, if you consider that like somebody is traveling, let's say that somebody's flying over the planet Earth, right? He's flying over the planet Earth at some speed relative to the Earth, but he's also flying at a different speed relative to the sun, and he's also flying at a different speed relative to the moon, right? On all of these frames of reference, you have different speeds, right? However, if you were to shine a thing of light, if you shine a thing of light across the atmosphere, the moon, the sun, the traveler, and the person on Earth would all observe that beam of light moving at the speed of light, or the speed of causality, or whatever. Like, you would see all of that moving at exactly the same speed. And the reason why is because of really complicated relativity beams that I don't understand well enough to explain. Everything that you do in terms of applying different speeds, like, oh, well, he's moving at, you know, like the speed of light plus whatever, like, it doesn't work that way. Like, light moves at a consistent speed. This is why things like time dilation exist, is to explain, like, well, how can you see the speed of light moving at, you know, the same or the same amount, even though they're in totally different frames of reference? Well, that's why, like, that, I think that partially explains, like, why time dilation has to occur. But like, to explain exactly, I don't even know, actually, I don't even know if there is a reason, if it's explained why that happens, just that it is, because it has to be. What about the red shift and the blue shift of light? That is something different. This shit is too, you fucking go ask Wikipedia. This is too complicated for me to understand, okay? I don't have a good enough understanding of these things to be able to explain them. That is why time length and time dilation are a thing. Yeah, to keep, because C has to stay relative. The speed of causality is always going to be the same in every single frame of reference, regardless of anything. It doesn't matter. Where does your understanding of this come from? It's fucking physics. I don't know. Go look it up. I can't explain it that well. Fuck. What level of education am I dropped out of fucking music school, all right? Just call me your fucking shit, all right? Listen, I had to work at the casino. We don't all have the privilege of... Yeah, I think the red shift and blue shift have to do with where more energy is falling, because as something is moving, more photons are hitting from, and it'll be shifted in a certain direction. I don't know how to explain that simply. I don't even know if I have the correct understanding of it. But like, if you have a big ball and it's moving to the right at some speed and it's sending light at you, you're gonna see more light towards the center and less light to the left, I think, right? I'm not going up there, dude. You're doing some crazy ass shit, man. I don't have a good understanding of redshift and blue shift, or I might have a completely wrong understanding of it. I'm not sure. Someone in chat probably knows, or can Wikipedia it. Doppler effect can be applied to light. That means it does change speed. No, light never changes its speed. The speed of causality, the C bullshit, never, ever, 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 ever changes. No matter what frame of reference you're in or anything, it never, ever, ever changes. Ever. Never. I know that's true. I can't explain anything else, okay? Please don't die. You got them double buffs, dog.
There's several computational solutions in a post-Moore's law world. There's neuromorphic computing, which may replace the details of a cortical microcircuit's behavior with an abstract neural network model, which can replace conventional digital logic gates.
Neural network? Are you talking about something having to do with biology? Because if so, that's all 100% total theoretical.